Hello everybody, welcome to Cupixel. My name is Anna and today I'm going to be hosting your live experience. I'm joined by Matt on the camera and then Haley is also here, which you'll know her from some of the other lives.
Hello everybody.
Today,
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Interrupt me all you want, you guys. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to draw these nice realistic looking lips. For this, I'm using a greeting card paper, but this one was just drawn on sketchbook paper, so really anything that you have is fine. This whole time, I'm going to be checking spaces, so if you want to communicate with me, you can post on spaces. So for this, I'm just using some pencils, a blender, and an eraser. I have pencils of different thicknesses. I have a B, a 2B, and a 4B. The higher the B number, the darker and more soft the pencil will be, but you can also just use any pencil that you have and that will work. You'll just have to apply more pressure. So I'm going to start walking you through this. There's no tracing. I'm going to show you how to make this and I'll continue to check spaces if you guys have any questions. So starting off, I'm just going to do some very basic circles to define the shape. So I'm going to do two right next to each other like so. About equal size. And then a third one that's a little bit below. And then I'm going to do two more oval shapes. Like so. And then this will start to form our top lip and our bottom lip. Also, if you guys need a few minutes to get the materials, I'll continue to go over this and you can take your time.
I love seeing people's like different methods for. Should I lean into the mic?
Yeah.
There we go. Matt, I'm coming to sit on your lap. Matt, you have a comfortable lap. I'm just kidding. It's interesting to see people's different approaches to how they map out the lips. Like I do a heart.
Oh, just a regular heart?
Like the top lip, just a simple heart, and like that's what Cupid's bow. But you can literally already see like the lips forming with that.
Yeah. I like to do these circles. I feel like it gives you that like plump look, but also if you have thinner lips and you're drawing yours are beautiful too. You just do a little bit smaller circles. So now I'm going to start to define the lines of the lips. So I'm just starting arching over the top here and then dragging it down the bottom, just in a nice curved line. And then doing the same thing on this side. And then here's where I'm going to start darkening up this little bump in the top lip. But then continue to arch over this other circle that we have. So see, now you can start to define a nice top lip shape as you extend these lines out. And then you just drag another curved line down to meet what you already have here. And then I like for just a little tiny bit to draw up into this bottom lip just to give it a little bit of that fullness. I feel like this is perfect for Valentine's Day especially because it's the lips. You could do it in a different color and send it to a loved one. Hi, lad. I see that you're in here. I'm glad that you think it's good.
I'm literally just about to say that. A lad, you get a lad's approval, his stamp of approval.
Welcome to our live. So now once I have this shape defined, I'm going to start doing some of the shadowing in. I'm going to start with the lips and then we'll kind of approach these shadows area around so we can make it look like it's sitting on a face. We're not going to draw the full face, but just a little hint of a face. So I'm just going to start by shading in the corners of the lips. And I'm just keeping with my same pencil, and as you can see where it's darker, I'm just adding more pressure. And then also right here, I'm going to do the darker, building up to the lighter. So then you just press down harder and build slowly up to lighter pressure.
Oh, so you keep the shapes. Like you build the...
Yeah, because then I'm just going to blend it out and it should blend. And then once you add the eraser and the different other details, it'll just start to come to life.
I actually feel like that's like a good like guide because like, you know, that's kind of where the light hits anyways.
Yeah, so these are kind of where your highlights are going to be. We're going to fill it in a little bit, but it starts to form the highlights.
See, there's always something new to learn. Always.
Yeah. When I was in art school, I had to draw 50 lips as assignments. You could have tested a lot of different,
50 lips.
Yeah, it was
50,
during COVID.
50 pairs of lips?
Yeah.
Like
no, pairs, like
25,
both.
okay.
No, both sides.
25 top lips, 25 bottom lips. No.
And we do the same thing with eyes and noses, so.
Oh my God. I mean.
It was during COVID, like when lockdown first happened, so it could have just been kind of like a busy work type assignment.
I don't feel like assigning you.
Well, but no one knew what to do then, so then they were just like... And then I'm doing that same, adding a lot of pressure right on the lip line and then slowly decreasing it as I fan out. But yeah, you guys are lucky to be drawing 1 lips today, but you can do as many as you want. If you want to do 50, go ahead.
You want to do 49 more?
I'm going to leave you before that. But you can watch me over and over once this is posted.
You can watch me 50 times, yeah.
I don't know if anybody wants to. Maybe once is enough, but...
I certainly do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now that I kind of have this nice gradient towards the ends as well as the middle, I'm going to start to blend some of it out. So I just have a blending stump, but if you don't have this, you can always use a Q-tip or even just your finger. So I'm sort of starting on the darker areas and then slowly working towards the lighter areas. And this just really helps to blend out any of those harsh lines from the pencil. And as you can see, even our shapes are starting to disappear. So now after blending this all out, you're really starting to get a pair of lips that start to form a little bit of shape. Now I'm going to take one of our darker pencils. So I'm going to do the 4B. Again, if you don't have that, you can just add more pressure. And just start going directly under the lips to form a shadow under the lips. And then especially towards those edges, you want to do very light pressure so it'll actually blend out once you go to blend it out. If you're using too much pressure with your lines, it might not end up blending very good. But some people enjoy that more graphic style, the more kind of sketchy look. So if you enjoy that, you can always keep it. I've always liked my art very blended. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, yeah, big time. I love a good realism.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same, absolutely.
That's what you like to look at, or do you like to make it?
Yeah.
So now I'm just blending out this shadow under the lip a little bit.
Yeah, were we talking about that with the apple? The live apple sketching?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now I'm starting to find the Cupid's bow. So just with what was left with my blender, I'm just going over and leaving a little bit of a highlight right where here on your lip would be. And then doing the same thing right next to it so it leaves a little bit of a highlight here as well. And then if you want to really blend it away and get a little bit more surface area, you can always just use your finger to blend.
Did you call it a Cupid's bow?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That's what it's called, right?
Yeah. But I said that one time, I feel like recently, and someone was like, what?
I used to watch a lot of makeup tutorials though, so I feel like
too.
it comes from
I
that.
think so. Yeah, well, Sephora queen over here.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm going to start to bring back some of our highlights a little bit. So I'm using this eraser that has pretty defined edges, which is nice. If you have one of those kneaded erasers, those can be good, but I know not everyone has those. So just try to use the very edge to get the more precise lines. So then using the very corner, I'm kind of going right under the lip to differentiate from the shadow underneath and just directly under the lip. And now we start to get a little bit of a highlight under the lip, and I'm going to do the same thing with the top. First, I'm just smudging out a little bit of our darkness that kind of creates a skin complexion. So then we can create the highlights for the face and make it look like the lips are actually sitting onto something. I'm really just doing this with my finger. It's okay if your finger gets a little dirty. Mine will. You can always, it comes off.
Mine's actually stayed on for years.
Is that a horror story or that's true?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It comes off.
I mean, I probably had it staying there for a couple of days.
Well, because you went to art school, right?
Yes.
Did you have to work with charcoal a lot?
Yeah.
So charcoal, like if you use it enough, I find that it quite literally like stained my fingernails, and I looked disgusting.
Like long term.
Yes, like disgusting.
You just look like you're like a construction worker, which no shame.
Leave art class and go to work at a makeup store and put makeup on people's faces.
Oh, with the that's not good.
Fingernails. Disgusting.
That's not great.
No, it's not. It's not.
Your clients were a little suspicious of you.
Oh, for sure.
So,
I'd be too.
So now I'm just defining highlights with my tip of my eraser down under the lip and also above the lip. And now I'm going to start deepening it up a little bit more. So I'm just going back to my 4B pencil. And just going a little bit over these corners again. Because once you blend everything out, it becomes a little bit less saturated. So sometimes it's good to go back over it. So I'm just really defining that lip line here. And then working in towards the center. You guys can always remember to post your progress as I go too if you guys want to show me how yours is looking. I'd love to see it. I always get excited to see when you guys do my experiences. I'm also just defining the top of that lip a little bit more where the lip line is. And now I'm also just going to start making these curved lines up so I can get some of the creases in the lips. So I'm doing some coming just directly up from the bottom. As well as some coming down from the top, kind of in between where the ones coming from the bottom are. I'm also just going to erase out a little bit of where these circles still sit. Just because as you can see, most of them disappeared, but you don't want the circles to be too visible.
Oh no, this is so quick. I feel like people could like stop at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you could.
There's more to do, like especially if you want to make it like, I'm gonna use Alad's term, hyper realistic. But which by the way, Alad is stop saying that because I can't stop saying it now, and it's just incorrect. Okay. But
Well, hyper-realistic is when you use the grids and stuff, right?
I think hyper-realism is when you incorporate like a story into a very realistic artwork. So like say you were doing an eye and then the eye was crying. I feel like that's hyper-realistic.
Oh, I thought it was when you see the people that do the art with the grids, and, you know, it's all sectioned out and you just draw one tiny piece at a time.
I think that's just
that's photorealism, I think,
yes,
maybe.
yes,
yeah.
Okay.
It's like a copy of it. Yes. Yeah, hyper-realism. Anyways, what I was saying is this looks great. Like I feel like this is like if people are following along and you know, this is stressful for them and they like want to stop at a certain point, like they don't want to push themselves too far. Like this is like you could stop here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It would look great.
Absolutely. This is incredibly impressive for 17 minutes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Stop it, Anna. It doesn't look bad.
No. I mean, I'm sure if you really take your time, you could probably get it to look a little more defined. But also, it's like a natural part of the body, so there's going to be kind of natural imperfections in all of it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of my experiences really go on when it could stop, like, at any point during it.
That is, yep. That's it.
So I'm just continuing to deepen up these lines. You could always do this with like a colored pencil or something too if you want to do it like a fun color to give to someone or something like that. Like you're sending them a little kiss. And you just use the same techniques but just using lighter or different or darker pressure. So now I'm going to start to define out some of the highlights in the lips. So just again using that corner of my eraser.
Speaking of lips, I just noticed that your lips perfectly match the background color.
Oh, does it? I didn't look at the background color.
Like from the 45 angle camera, it was like spot on.
That's fine. I kind of wanted to match my shirt too. I always try to match the art that I'm doing. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but.
It works.
Oh my god, yeah, yes. I mean, it was subtle enough. Now I feel like I.
Well, especially if I do like a painting or something, I like the colors to match in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely do.
I don't have a lot of color in my wardrobe though, so like it's kind of a stretch. I'm like, oh, this has a tiny bit of pink. It's like a little bit of Valentine's Day.
That's so funny. I'm the same way.
So like I said, I'm just using that corner of the eraser to make the little highlight lines in the lips. And these highlights honestly are kind of nearing pretty close to where you could stop at any point. This one's definitely a little bit of a shorter experience. Like when I do my art, I'll continue, go back in with layer after layer. But at any point, if you feel like yours looks good, then you could totally stop. I'll probably do a little bit of highlights more, go back, blend it, go back and do a few more lines, and then do a nice final round of highlights, just get the brightest whites. And then we'll be pretty much done. It's a pretty short one today. So now I'm just blending these pretty lightly because I don't want it to smudge too much over the top. I'm also just going to deepen up that line right where the lips divide because I just want to make sure I see the divide. And then just blending that out a tiny bit. And I'm just going back in with some more detail lines. Really, the more layers you add, the more realistic it's gonna look. And please, if you're watching still and you want to share yours with me, I'd love to see yours before we finish.
You could share later as well. You don't have to post right now. This will be up tomorrow. This video on the other.
Yeah, so I'll keep checking and maybe I'll comment on you guys if I see anybody shares it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now I'm just kind of doing a final round of highlights. So I'm just going back in for the Cupid's bow on both sides, as well as just very lightly tapping it on this inside part. Even with your eraser, you can use different pressures, which is kind of interesting because if you very lightly tap it, it'll take off just a tiny bit, but then if you rub a little bit harder, it'll fully more so remove it. So much of art is just experimenting with the different materials that you have though. So this is just creating the very top highlight. I'm also just going to kind of lightly erase out where I feel like it got a little too dark with the Cupid's bow. Or the top of your lip if it's not called that, I guess. I think it is.
It is 100%.
I think maybe not a lot of people know that.
Yeah. I'm thinking it is like a makeup niche thing.
I feel like honestly doing my makeup is what helped me improve in like this type of art a lot.
Oh my God, Anna, why don't we hang out?
I know.
I talk about this all the time. Makeup is art though.
I mean, some people, the looks that some people do are like crazy.
But it's like you're studying your features.
Mm.
You know, a lot of art is just kind of exposing yourself, you know, your eyes and like kind of training them to look, you know, examine the shapes.
Mm.
Stuff.
And also like a lot of art is just attention to detail, which makeup also is like a ton of attention to detail.
Yes, it sure is.
I was just fixing my lip shape. At this point, I'm just kind of being a perfectionist with my lips. Kind of like how I am with my lips in real life, too.
I just want to shout out really quick, anyone that's watching, like, if you don't want to post your artwork and, you know, chat with us, like, you can use the comments on Spaces to, you know, ask questions or just say hi. You know, I should have mentioned that earlier, but you know, with the time that we have left, if you have something you want to say, we'll be checking and, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, give us your 2 cents. Let me know how I'm doing. Oh, we have another one. Hi, Shirley. I'm excited that you're excited to try the technique. So now I'm just emphasizing this final shadow under the lips. And breaking up some of my highlights. But honestly, I think that my lips are pretty good here.
Yeah, that's about as realistic as it looks to me.
Thank you.
About as realistic as it
Thank
gets.
you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Also, once it's posted, if I went a little bit fast for you guys, you can always watch it tomorrow. Pause, take your time, practice, post. I'd love to see it. Thank you so much for joining me in this live experience. And if you'd like to, please share it with Spaces. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Anna Bland Art on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me for this live.